Welcome to Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. I'm Mark Ballard, joined by Patrick Bro, and it's a beautiful day here at Winsport's Canada Olympic Park. We have blue skies, variable winds, and a stellar slopestyle course for the competitors at the first stop of the Skier Slopestyle Provincial Tour.
That's right, Mark. This is the first stop of 3 this year. Yesterday we had a half-pipe event. Tomorrow will be moguls, but today the main event is our slopestyle. These 20 athletes, aged 17 to 20, will perform spins left and right, grabs, flips, ride on the rails. It should be some exciting action on this first stop of the Provincial Tour. These athletes come from all over Alberta, all the way from Grand Prairie, Jasper. Winsport has a host team, Calgary Freeriders, Castle Mountain. Let's take a closer look at what we can expect on the course.
We're here at Winsport atop the slopestyle course. Patrick, what do we got going on?
This is the area where the athletes will discuss with their coaches their strategy to drop in. They'll get mentally prepared and get speed for our first rail feature. So let's go check it out. This first rail section's a bit fast, so I don't need to go too fast to hit it. It's a nice down bar. I'll approach from the side. As I said, that rail exits you very quick, so I'm getting ready for my next one and I need speed for it as the jumps are following that next rail section. So I need to carry my speed here through into the next rail.
You wouldn't catch me on these rails, but let's see how Patrick does.
And I gotta hit this rail with lots of speed because the jumps are coming up.
We're standing here at the top of the first jump. This jump, these guys sometimes go higher than the chairlift. Patrick, what can you tell me about this jump?
We have 2 jumps for different abilities in the competition today. First jump's about 57 feet length, and the smaller jumps is about 35. These jumps are angled approximately about 34 degrees, so you're looking at 20 to 30 feet of air onto a steep landing about 35 degrees. So they're big jumps and they have to be well executed. Athletes have to land this jump cleanly so that they have a good line into the next jump coming up. Any kind of mistake would mean a deck or it's just chaos. So that was clearly, you have to land that first jump very clean, and so we can hit this jump right behind us here. This one behind me is about 50 feet. This big daddy here is about 67 feet close for this level of competition.
We're standing on the deck at the last jump. In this point, the skiers would come well over our head as they come over this jump, over 50, 60 feet in length. Patrick, what can you tell me about the landing here?
The landing's steep. It's about 34 degrees. It has to be steep so it lowers the impact. Any kind of any flatter type of landing, and the athlete's impact is just too heavy. So this is the last feature, being the last chance to impress the judges. So the athletes really want to save their best trick here. It's the Showtime booter.
Nice job on the rails. Didn't see you hit the jump, so.
Thanks, yeah, with a microphone and this old back, the jumps we'll save for another day. But they're just opening the course, so let's go see the real athletes and who's next.
We head to the top with Hazen Cullinge-Turner from Calgary Freeriders dropping in.
Coming into the first rail, just a regular rail slide, exiting forward. Now the coaches were talking about a wind change. We were dealing with some west winds, and see how the athletes adjust to it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out. I think there's a bit of a tailwind these guys are trying to adjust for. Look at that.
Rodeo 720, ooh, and landing hard, deep. Looked like he had the landing gear out, but it was still about 20 feet above the ground. Looks like Hazen's okay though. Had a nice takeoff, clean grab, but just you can see traveling much too far down the landing as he's anticipating. I think he was trying to go for a 7 there, ended up landing a bit short.
And Hazen with a score of 22.6 on his first run. He will go back for a second run to try to improve on that. Bryn Malcolm dropping in from Jasper Freeride.
Bryn here traveling all the way from Jasper, approaching this first rail. Hitting the flat down nice and clean. Again, we'll see how these athletes adjust to the wind change. Quite a windy day in Calgary. Long flat bar, backside 2-7 off, nice and clean. Coming into the first jump, looking at a left side 900, landing it, coming into the last jump switch. Hitting the skier's left side with a switch 180, nice and clean. Re-looking at his run, judges are really looking for him to be grabbing those skis. An upright 900, a fairly difficult trick. The switch 180, again, no grabs, but a clean run.
It almost looked like he meant to do a 7 and rotated to a 9. The score of 59.2, that will be the leader so far in the first run. Dropping in now for his first run is Finian Young from Winsport Academy.
Finn coming from right out of Calgary, skis this course all the time. We'll see how he does. Switch 2.7 off the down bar, nice and clean.
I noticed earlier Hazen didn't have poles, and here he's got some poles. What's the difference? Is it judged differently?
It's a personal preference. Skiers sometimes ski without poles, but sometimes judges can dock you without style points, but it is a personal preference. There's no regulation on it. Finney taking that one really deep, switch 5. We'll see how he does on jump 2. Looks like a left side 9, taking it extremely deep. Again, these athletes maybe not adjusting for that wind change. Taking a look, rotating deep, struggling and stretching for that landing. Finn's coaches here might be suggesting to dump a little bit of speed before this big jump number 2, taking that way too deep.
Putting out the landing gear well before the landing comes up.
Patrollers on site. We're hoping Finian is doing okay.
Well, Finian with a 28.2, but clearly if he lands his run, he'll get a significantly higher score. We're just waiting for the patrol to check him out. We hope he's okay, and it looks like he is okay. You know, Patrick, I caught up with Kurt Witterhorn a little earlier today, one of the judges, to tell us a bit more about how the scoring works. Let's see what he has to say. I'm standing here with Kurt, one of the judges with the slopestyle contest. Kurt, what do you look for in each of the features?
Well, when it comes to rails, you're looking at actually everything overall. A lot of progression, variety in the run, and difficulty, of course, along with execution. Very important. On the rails, you really hone in on the spins, the balance, and the variety of spins that they're using, because it's a big differentiator as opposed to the jumps. When it comes to the jumps, amplitude really kicks in, but you want to see a good variety, a good flow. Obviously landings, no hand touches, and all sorts of crazy tricks in the air. So degree of difficulty goes up with that, obviously.
We're seeing some amazing tricks from these young guys out there today, and girls. The wind is a little challenge for them. There's some amazing tricks. Sometimes they're not as cleanly landed as they could be. How do you distinguish between two very difficult tricks where they both have made mistakes on the landing?
Well, the wind is, as you know, today, as beautiful a day as it is, the wind is coming into play, unfortunately. Big tailwind here, and from run to run it can make and has made such a big difference. Where one run they'll get her dialed in with no wind, tailwind blows up and they're going too deep. Obviously when they go too deep, they're landing in or past the transition in a lot of cases and blowing out of their skis or touching their hands. So really want to make sure when they land these big tricks, there's nothing touching except their feet, their skis, and they're in good balance when they land. So the wind is huge.
All right, judges, officials, gatekeepers, they're the unsung heroes in all these events, so just thank you for all the work and volunteer effort you put into this.
Hey, it's great watching all this stuff. Wish we could do it.
Right on.
Thank goodness Finian Young's okay. He'll get a chance to hit his second run. Nev Hunter on course. Coming into the first rail forwards. And that's just called a rail slide. Exits skis in forwards and exits forwards. Athletes are still dealing with this change of wind here in Calgary. That there is called a backside 270 out. Into the first air, looking like he's managing some speed, just a straight air. This run might be a throwaway, and he'll be looking for his second run.
And 360, solid landing. It looks like that first air we sometimes call gorilla air.
Yeah, he might be just adjusting to the speed. Nev looked like he had a little bit of trouble on exiting backside on that first rail.
Okay, and we're back at the top with Bailey Laher from Calgary Freeriders, and here's another guy dropping in no poles, bit of a snowboard influence.
I think athletes sometimes just feel they might get in the way, but Bailey here seems perfectly comfortable without his poles. Again, it's personal preference. And Bailey, among a lot of other skiers, are now skiing without poles. Coming into our long hubba rail, we call it. It's called frontside 270 out. He'll come into this skier's left jump switch.
Look at that.
With a nice switch rodeo. Let's look at what happened here. Switch rodeo 5, just a little over-rotated, a little extended. Might be to do with that wind. Looks like he wanted to land just a little bit earlier, caused an over-rotation and a loss of speed.
Yeah, I understand yesterday in training they were having troubles getting enough speed for it. Oh, here we go, 24.6. So he will have to go back for a second run to get closer to the top score of 59.2. At the top again with Will O'Connor from Calgary Freeriders.
Calgary Freeriders have a heavy field in this provincial slopestyle comp. Let's see what Willie's got for us today. One of the harder tricks that we've seen on that top rail was just a 270 on. Came off a little bit early. Judges really want to see you get to the end of that rail. Approaching our long hubba. Very nice, 450 out. Into a switch rodeo 5, over-rotating it again, taking it a little deep. Let's take a look at this in slow-mo. Wanting to land and just, the landing just chases away. These athletes are all seen to be over-rotating their tricks.
And Will O'Connor with a score of 25. It's good to see these guys throwing down. And I think a big part of this is just learning from their mistakes and rising up. Matt Parfit on course.
Matt's a heavy favorite in the provincial event. Castle is one of the older athletes from Castle Mountain. Matt from Bragg Creek, competing out of Castle, one of the older athletes in this field, but a very strong and talented skier. Nice, easy, backside 270 off that.
He looks really relaxed in his style.
Yeah, right side 720, not able to quite stick that landing, but a right side 7 showing that he's progressing. Judges really want to see that you spin both directions, left and right.
A little bit of a nose butter coming over there, having some fun. Like to see that.
That run's obviously a throwaway.
28.4, yeah, that will won't be enough. We'll have to go up for a second run. This contest is the best point score they can get of their 2 runs. So they have 2 opportunities to get their top score. Braden Tritter dropping in.
Braden, one of the heavy favorites for this provincial event. Starting it off with a left side 270, continuous 270 out, coming into the next rail section switch. First athlete we see do that. Clean 270 off of that, coming in switch to the first air, switch left side 900, clean, no grab though. Let's see what he has for a second air.
One of the more stable landings we've seen.
Going right side, cork 7, hand drag. I've seen Braden do cleaner runs. Let's see what he has on replay. You can see him spinning, switch 900. That is a nice clean landing, one of the cleanest ones we've seen today. And this second air, beautiful rotation. Braden would love to have grabbed that ski and sharpened up that landing a bit, but not a bad run for Braden.
He's got to be happy with that. Let's see what the judges thought about that run. And with a 81.8, he will take the lead. All right, we have next skier up on course, Alistair Murray from Winsport Academy. Patrick, tell me about him.
Alistair, first year with the Winsport Academy. Coach Andre and Chip really excited about this young athlete. Let's see what he's got today. Coming into our first rail, 270 on, off a little bit early, as some of the athletes have been skiing that right to the end, showing a big difference in scores. Alistair coming into our long hubba rail.
Look at that.
Excellent, 450 off, extremely difficult trick to do. Unfortunately, couldn't grease the landing. Slow motion, doesn't quite lock onto that rail. You want to see the skis perform a scissor to lock on, and this is an extreme rotation off this rail, but gets back seat, washes out. He'll have to throw this run away.
While trying a really technical rail trick, he did opt out of the last 2 jumps. Don't think the judges will like that. Let's see how they scored him. 11.2. Patrick.
Yeah, they're not gonna like them. When you wipe out or you fall, your run is pretty much a throwaway.
Okay, and up next we have JC Rojas up in the start.
JC's coming from Castle Mountain, coached by Dave Stevenson, getting his final words of wisdom. Coach Dave bringing a great number of athletes to this competition, has been successful for a long time. JC coming into our first rail, just a rail slide, clean in, clean out. Still though, judges want to see you get right to the very end. To the long hub of tube, clean front side, 450 off, coming off forward. Very nice by JC, coming for a huge 360, taking that enormous.
Halfway or more down that landing.
Cruising into this bottom air.
Look at that.
Little hand drag on a left side 900, but nice and clean. Let's see this huge mute left 3, landing so deep, but keeping it under control. This left side 900, nice and corked, good grab on that. Just a small hand touch on the landing. The judges might dock him for that.
Okay, let's see what the judges think about JC's run there. With his points of 68.2, right on. That's enough to put him in second place right now behind Braden Tritter's first run.
Good run by JC, good level of difficulty. He can clean it up though and maybe take Braden off that podium. Next up is Mark Witterhorn from Southern Alberta Freestyle.
Seen Mark practice his maneuvers, doing a little bit of visualization before he goes.
Yeah, Mark, one of the nicest athletes you can meet out there, coming into our first left-hand rail. Nice and clean rail slide. Mark, again, one of the goofiest athletes we have in this field. Always good for a smile and a little joke here and there. Hitting that hub of rail, he might have wanted to spin off of that one. Looked like he came off just a bit early. First air, just a nice, large left 360. Might have missed the grab there. Let's see what he has for jump number 2. Beautiful cork 7 left side, landing a bit heavy on the tails. Mark might want to clean that run up a little bit, but he comes down with all his equipment and happy as usual.
Always perpetually stoked. Score of 62. That won't be enough to take the lead.
Yeah, some room for improvement. Like to see some grabs and maybe some spin off some rails is where he got dinged.
Hayden dropping in from Calgary Freeriders.
Again, a heavy hitting Calgary Freeriders group. Hayden looks to take on his teammate Braden off the top. Straight off that rail, coming into this bottom rail section forwards, hoping to get some speed for the jumps. Again, just a tap and straight off, so he's gonna have to really amp up his difficulty here. Left side, cork 7, right to his feet, coming into jump 2. Rodeo 7.
A little worried about that one.
Calling it in midair. Hayden really boosting in a clean cork 7, coming into this second jump where his speed was really low. Rodeo 7, landing short right on the deck line. He wants to be taking that one way over towards the landing. Score might be adjusted for that. He's got a second run coming though.
60.4 for Hayden. One good thing about Hayden, you can see him. He's looking for his landing all the way around when he's doing his spins. Beautiful day out there, hey Patrick.
It's a beautiful day, but it always looks better with a clean lens. Hayden didn't do us any favors there by spraying the cameraman, but it looks good now. Good job, crew.
Seeing the ski jump in the background there. And here we have Clayton Potts from Twatna Valley, just north of Edmonton.
Twatna, just an up-and-coming club, boosting with junior numbers and a resort that's really thriving in slopestyle skiing. So taking that one, left foot forward, clean on, clean off on the first down rail, coming into our long hub of tube. Good clean run so far, landing straight on his bolts and preparing for the jumps. Right side, 720, a little bit squirrely, but coming around, trying to gain speed for that second air.
Getting in that low aerodynamic position.
Right side 360, taking it a little short. He knows that that was not enough speed for that jump. You can see where he lost all his speed on that landing of jump 1, causing this, we call this a deck.
Old back slapper.
Painful on the shins, on the heels, and everything, especially the ego.
22.2, he's gonna need another run to get in the runnings.
The wind really playing tricks on these athletes. We had a heavy west wind, a heavy south wind, which athletes were going too deep. Now looks like that west wind's back, so let's see if these athletes can figure it out.
Samuel McKeown from Calgary Freeriders, might have pronounced that last name wrong.
Sam kind of rocking that rail, still exiting it a little bit too early for the judges. No spins off of it, just a straight rail slide, but into the big hubber rail.
Love that sound that rail makes.
Getting a backside 270 off with a slight Japan. Into jump 1 with a right side cork 7 tail. Nicely done. Coming in clean for jump 2.
What's it going to be?
Left side 9.
Right
to
on.
the bolts. Really clean run by Sam. You can see on this air, very nice. Spinning to the left, grabbing that tail. Bringing it around to 900. Really no issues with speed or form. Sam completing that jump beautifully.
That was probably the cleanest landed run we've seen so far for the last jump, 71.8. That will put him on the podium. We have still got more to come. Okay, we got Colin Bridger dropping in here. While we're waiting, tell me a little about left and right spins. What's the difference?
We want athletes to be spinning left and right. I think the judges really want to see you spin both ways off the jump. So they'll say spin left side and right side, both switch and regular. Colin should have a good variety of left and right spins, and the athletes on the podium certainly will. So coming into Hubba Rail, Colin looks really good with a great backside, 450 out, moving into a right side, cork 7 tail, looking really good into jump number 2.
He just looks so relaxed in the air.
A very nice bio cork 720 landing right on the bolts. No issues with landings. Judges really like to see that. You can see here, moving in switch. This is a switch lift where he has to lift his tips over the front of the rail. Really difficult to do. And then this nice bio, grabbing left safety. Spots his landing like he's stepping off a bus. Very clean run for Colin.
All right, Colin with a 77.8. Put him in second place. And let's go back to the top with Cody Botham from Saskatchewan Freestyle, one of the few skiers from Saskatchewan here.
Great representation from Saskatchewan this year. He's coming into this nice flat down rail, landing it clean. Skiers are preferring that skier's left down rail, but he's taking it different to hitting that flat down kinked. See what he has for our big hubba tube.
As Mark McMorris has showed, it doesn't matter if you're from Saskatchewan, you can still be the best in the world in this skiing.
Nice tall 360 going rather large on jump 1. Coming into jump 2 here. A little bit squirrely. Looked like he might have been trying to go for a 5. Ended up with 360. Landed on his heels. He's going to want to try that run again, I believe.
Cody with a score of 49.8. He will go back up and try to improve on that.
Winds are up and down today. Really make speed management a crucial part of this course, especially on those jump lines. Let's see who's at the top.
One of the good things about those jumps is you actually look down at the chairlift when you're in the air. Evan Marino from Winsport Academy dropping in.
Evan, extremely talented skier, coming into the first rail section. 270 on, nice and clean exit. Evan had a great day in half pipe the night before, getting 3rd place overall. Now one of the few athletes hitting the wall ride on the skier's left.
He may have been the first guy today to hit that.
Right side mute 360. Very clean. Evan opting to ski this left line, jumps a little bit smaller, but it's working for him with a very clean left cork 7. This wall ride feature is scary. 10-foot gap to 10-foot high, taps it with his heels. Awesome effort from Evan.
Evan with a score of 64.2.
He can probably clean that up and get on the podium.
Daniel Macer from Tuatna Valley dropping in.
Another talented athlete up from Tuatna. Let's see what he has here. A nice lip slide, we call that, when he has to lift the heels over the front of the rail. We call that a lip slide. Looks like he's coming in for the skier's left and the wall ride feature. Tapping it nicely. Very clean. Into jump 1, big side, moving a huge 360. No grab on that one. Let's see what he has for jump 2.
The right side.
A huge
big
flat 3 with a Japan. Very nicely done. Huge flat 3 there, grabbing Japan nice and clean. Excellent run for this Tuatna skier.
Score is 61.4. Nice, respectable score. Judges just finished tallying up their score, taking a little break. Let's go to the leaderboard and see how it stands. Looks like all Calgary freeriders in the top 3. We got Samuel with 71, Colin with 77, and Braden with 81 after first run.
That's it for round 1 in the Skier Slopestyle Provincial Tour. We're up next with round number 2.
Welcome back to Chasing Limits. We're here for run number 2 of the Alberta Freestyle Ski Tour Slopestyle Contest. This contest would not be possible without the communication provided by YCOM Solutions.
The course is getting prepped, final touches, rake, some dye. Run number 2's coming up.
And at the top, Hazen Collins Turner dropping in with a score of 22.6, needing to improve on that to get on the podium.
Yeah, Hazen trying to improve on his run. Let's see what he has for his rail game. Trying that lip slide, rail slide, right foot forward, lifting his tails over the front of the rail. Really difficult and it was cleanly done. So Hazen coming into the hubba. Backside 270 off. Clean so far in the rail sections. Let's see what he has in the jumps. Rodeo 720. Oh, and just on his tails. Unable to ride it out. That'll be the end of the day for Hazen.
All right, let's check the replay out.
Slid the hubba rail all the way to the end, backside 270 off, coming in hot for jump number 1. Everything seems to be going well, but Rodeo gets the grab, brings it around to 720, but back on his tails.
Look at that amplitude.
Very nicely done, except for the landing and washes out. He'll be unable to finish this course. Too bad for Hazen, he's had a rough day.
And with a score of 25, not quite what he was looking for, but he definitely put some risk out there and tried some good tricks. Bryn Malcolm in the top. First run score of 59.2. He needs to beat that score of 81.8 to be at the top.
He has potential to do it. Let's see what he's got this run. 51's a big score, but nice frontside switch up on that flat down rail. Not many athletes trying that one. So frontside switch ups when he actually rotates his skis on the surface of the rail. Into the big hover rail, a bit on the tails on that landing. Let's see what he's got for the jumps. Left side 360 going rather deep, and oh man, he just couldn't stick the landing, taking it deep, lost both his shoes. Going into this jump, left side 360, reaches for that left tail grab. It looks like he over rotates just slightly. That gets you over 90 degrees, and landing sideways down any landing is gonna cause some issues. So tough day, and he'll be looking for a better score next time.
And we got Bryn sliding into the finish here with a score of 14.2. Obviously not enough to put him on the podium, but good to see him taking some risks, taking some big airs in there.
Yeah, he'll have to hang on to his first run score of 59. Now everyone's chasing that 81.8. Finian Young took a huge crash on run number 1. As you can see here, taking this left cork 9, extremely low on the landing, a full face plant into that landing. Patrols checked him out. He's a tough kid. He's a tank. His coach Chip calls him a tank. And he's back up at the top looking to improve on that first run. Let's see what Finn's got. He has the talent to take a podium at this competition, so let's see.
Coming in switch.
So switch left 270 on that top rail. One of the harder tricks that we've seen on that down rail from the top. Coming into this hubba rail, going in forward. Looks like he's hurting just a little bit. Front side, 270 off, nice and clean. Left 360, taking it deep again. Finn into jump number 2.
What's he gonna do here?
Finn, another left 3.
Let's have a look at this replay.
Switch 270 on, landing right foot forward. Nicely done there. Like I said, nice and clean and a harder trick, but Finn with a bit of a wild air on the last jump, opting to do 2 360s.
I think sometimes it's just about getting back on that horse. After he took that big beating, it's nice to see him come back and do that other run. His second run, 57.4. A good improvement over the last one. Up next, we have Neve Hunter, number 57. He had a score of 48.4 in his first run, looking to improve on it in his next run. Dropping in.
From the Jasper Freeride team, Nick Banzan and his company of skiers. Very talented group up from Jasper. Clean lip slide right after that first rail.
Neve, meaning Spanish in snow, appropriate name for Neve here.
Neve coming into this rail really hot. He's traveling quite fast. Backside 270 off, a bit on the heels, and a right side 360.
Look at him. Put it down sideways. 450s are good on rails, not on jumps.
That's right, Ballard. That's a little bit too much rotation for that size of jump. Pretty sure he wanted to do 360. Let's check out the replay. Traveling way up in the air. Excellent amplitude, but my goodness, I think he could have adjusted mid-air to take that to 540. That was a bit surprising for him in the air. Tough crash. Looks like he's okay though.
Walking away from it, won't have enough speed, as you can tell, to hit the last jump. It looks like he did a 360 and put his landing gear down and realized he still had another 20 feet to go. Tough decision when you're up there, and that's what these contests about. Learning your limits, learning how to deal with them.
Up next is Bailey Lahore, 24.6 on the first run. He's really got to improve on that. Clean rail slide, that's a good start. Let's see what he has for the rails coming up. Athletes are adjusting to the changes of snow temperature, the wind, all sorts of stuff going on this course. Great front side, 270 out, coming in switch to the skier's left jump. Switch rodeo 5, really clean, bit on the tails, but coming into the skier's left jump on the bottom air. Another rodeo 5, and taken too deep.
Not able to save it.
Replay coming into this rail from the left side, lifting his heels over the front of the rail. That's a lip slide. Coming to this bottom air. Clean rodeo takeoff, but going much, much too large. Trying to land switch, but by then he's way down the landing, losing both his shoes. Quite a wreck.
Haley, that was huge. That was a big crash. Tell me about it.
Well, there's some wind coming with us now. Did the same speed as warm up, and it was a bit quicker, so went a little bigger than expected.
Yeah, that was big. It was sensational to watch. So tell me when you realized you were in trouble.
The second I spotted the ground after 360, I just knew I was going to go big, so I opened up to try and stall my rotation and ended up falling.
Bailey not quite landing with his bases down. Might not be as happy with that score. Next up, we got Will O'Connor, number 18, with a score of 25 in his first run. Be easy to improve on this for him.
Yeah, Will with his first run being a wash. Second run, this is it. Best of two. Excellent 270 onto that rail, locking on. Slopestyle being best of two, you get 2 chances to land your best run. His first one wasn't the way he wanted to go. Let's see how he does here. Excellent 630 off. That's a huge right side trick off that rail. Switch squirrely 7. That is not going to do it. Poor Will just couldn't get a run together today. Very technically sound on the top rail section, but the jumps ate him up.
Let's have a look at the replay.
Coming in switch, looking over his right shoulder. Looks like he rushed his takeoff just a little bit. Squirrely right from the get-go. Couldn't adjust in midair, off balance, and that's just a bad jump for him. He can do much better than that. I'm sure he's going to be disappointed.
Speed's pretty fast. A bit scary out there, but
Yeah. What's scary about it?
just like going big and not knowing the speed going into it and hoping that you land fine.
Yeah, wind changed a little the speed's changed from yesterday.
Yeah, it's way faster today than it was yesterday.
Remember, the best score to beat is 81.8. We've got Matt Parfit dropping in.
Matt is a multiple provincial winner. He has more than enough skill to take this podium. Let's see what Matt's got. Left side 270 on that rail. No problem.
Dropping into the next rail. Which rail will it be?
Looks like our big long hubba rail. Coming in. Backside 270 off that rail. Coming in to jump one with lots of speed. Beautiful cork 7 to the right, but again, that wind just seems to be picking up and throwing athletes down the landing.
Sitting it down just a bit. That won't be enough speed to hit the last jump.
Disappointing air for Matt. Just taking it much deeper than he thought, landing back on those tails. Athletes just need to make an adjustment. They have to listen to their coaches on which direction the wind's going. Beautiful takeoff, a great skier, Matt, but he just couldn't get this landing together.
Standing on the lip earlier, listening to the coaches, safety is a big priority for them. Always giving feedback to their athletes to make sure that they can make safe and good decisions off those jumps. Matt Parfit coming down with a score of 21. With the crash, not a surprise on the score. One of the favorites at this event here. Had a couple of tough runs. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the wind just picked up right after training, and the tailwind just kicks you forward so much.
More than you're compensating for.
Yeah, you can do as many carves as you want into the jump. The wind will just carry you.
What's it feel like? When do you know you're in trouble?
Right at apex, you know. You can look down and you see that you're still falling, and you just know that you have to open up.
Up next, we have Braden Tritter. He is the current points leader with 81.8. And Patrick, I have a prediction. He is not going to take this run easy. He is not going to play it safe. He will take risk, even though he is in a safe position.
He'll look to probably throw down the exact same run as the first time. He did it pretty clean, but there's still some room for improvement. Beautiful 270 on, 270 off. One of the harder tricks on that down rail. Extremely talented skier, this Braden. Coming into this rail switch on large hubba, switch on, nice 270 grab off. Coming into this first jump, really hot. Switch left, 722, an explosion landing.
Did I not call it?
My goodness, going for it. Just taking it really deep like so many of the other skiers. Not quite landing where he was expecting. Let's see what happened here on the replay. This is his 270 on, 270 off the top rail, coming off slightly early, but an extremely difficult trick. And then into this hubba rail, very clean, nice grab. Looks like these jumps are just moving really fast right now, so opens up for landing and goes much past it, just like those other athletes. Wanted to switch 7, went about switch 830, didn't quite make it.
Pulling his helmet off, cleaning his nostrils, cleaning his goggles, trying to find his next speed.
Took a little bit too much speed in the first jump, overspin, and just couldn't quite hold it together.
Yeah. How'd it go in the first run?
Landed the first run, so I know, not too upset. So
some great action so far today at the Winsport slopestyle course. Winsport providing yet another excellent venue, combined with their halfpipe, their mogul course, their trampoline center. Winsport's providing really exciting facilities for these athletes.
Speaking of Winsport, I caught up with one of the Academy's top coaches to learn more about the programs. I'm here with Chip Milner from Winsport Academy. Chip, tell us a little bit about your role with the Academy.
Yeah, I'm a development coach, and I have a demographic between 13 and 17 years old. And we take the kids through slopestyle. We have half pipe. We do some mogul training as well, just for turns and line and understanding how to carve the ski properly. And then we spend a lot of time doing jumps into airbag. We do a lot of acrobatic module training down on the trampoline, and then we basically prepare the kids for doing more difficult tricks when they're a little bit older in age. So I get them for technically about 4 years, and then I move them on to the next team.
Okay, tell me how your guys are stacking up against the rest of the Albertans here.
We've always been really competitive. We have a really good program. Winsport is known as, if not the competitive program in the province, but we also have an amazing support staff. Like, we have the resources available to us. I mean, you see what we have: a world-class half pipe, to an incredible rail and jump line, to the trampoline center, to fitness opportunities for the kids and increasing their strength. So we have a well-rounded program, and I think that how we stack up is that we're preparing our athletes almost similar to like a national team, but it's a development team. So the kids are getting that national team attention, experience. The professionals are amazing, like who they get to work with. So we're moving them in that direction because of kind of conditioning them to what it's going to be like at the next level.
Right on, thank you. Heading back to the top with Alistair Murray. First run was a score of 11.2. Tried a technical trick, wasn't able to quite land it.
Yeah, he's got a 630 off that hubba tube at the bottom. Really technical rail skier, Alistair. Alistair didn't even get a chance to hit the jump, so let's see what he has here this time. Clean 270 on that rail. Coming into the hubba rail. Right foot forward. Just opting to do the backside 270 out. Getting into the jumps. Left side 9 going extremely deep. Holding it together but bailing out at the last minute.
Let's look at this replay.
Left side 900, extremely large in the air and landing switch heavy but holding it together. Looked like he was heading on the wrong line though, coming into jump 2 and opted to bail out of it, but a beautiful left 9. Coming down hard, way past the third line on that landing. Alistair, a great run shaping up, but just couldn't get the last jump together.
Heading back to the top with JC Rojas with a score in first run of 68.2, a respectable score, but he will need to beat an 81.8 to land on the top step of that podium.
Currently JC, he's in the top 10, but he's gonna need a high score here to get onto that top 3 podium, a clean rail slide on that first rail section. Let's see what he has for the bottom rails. Rails being so important. Touches that rail, spins out of it clean into a right side high mute 360 on the backs of his skis, moving in hot to this left side 900.
Looked like his skis just weren't tight enough. They popped off on the landing. I thought he had that landing clean.
On the hubba rail here, a nice clean frontside 450 out. Going into jump 1, judges are really looking for style, grabs. You can see here JC grabs that high mute, beautifully done in the left side 360. Going into this bottom air, left side, nice tail grab with that right hand, but it seems sometimes, Mark, that those skis just need to be a little bit tighter.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, is that ski just popped off. He looked like he was going to land it clean. A little bit of pressure on the tips of his skis, just popped that ski right off. Looks like you were going to land it. Tell me a little bit what happened in the landing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went a little bit big, but I felt that I was definitely controlled in the air. I just put the landing gear down. I guess it didn't work out. I got to tighten up the dims, I guess, but hopefully next time.
Sensational to watch, though. Good job.
Thanks a lot.
Tough crash there for JC, earning 26.2. He'll have to stick with his first run at 68.2.
Up next, Mark Witterin from Southern Alberta Freestyle dropping in with a reasonable score of 62 on his first run, looking to improve upon it and maybe even beat that 81.8.
Mark with a rail slide. In order to get those scores higher, judges really need to see some technical difficulty on the rails. We can't see these athletes just go straight in, straight out if they want a podium. A nice front side, 270 out, coming in switch to the big jump on the left. Excellent rodeo attempt, landing back on his tails.
Yeah.
Too bad. Looks like he gave a little penguin slide for the judges. Let's see this in slow-mo. Switch rodeo, just over rotating on that 360 there and landing on his tails.
Like just trying to stretch out that landing a little bit, realizing he's going to be over rotating.
The rodeo 540 is the trick, but in order to come out forward, he just came a little bit too deep. The penguin slide's classic, Mark, though. Let's see what he has.
And Mark with a score of 23. He'll take his first run of 62 for his best score of the contest.
Mark's still having a lot of fun, though, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Lively guy. Hey, here's Hayden with a score of 60.4, dropping in from Calgary Freeriders.
Hayden, a really talented skier. Let's see what he has for run number 2. Rail slide to straight out, cleaning the whole bar. Judges are looking for how early they exit those rails. Let's see what he has for the hubba rail. Right foot forward, a large 270 out, landing deep in that transition. Left side, cork 7 tail, looking good on this run.
Looking
Coming
for
into
speed.
jump 2. Rodeo 9 with the tail.
Lands it.
Clean run for Hayden. Exceptional jump on the last air. There it is in slow motion. See him go rodeo, grab the tail, and complete his rotation all the way to 900. Landing switch. Awesome trick from Hayden. Judges really looking for a clean takeoff, clean grab in the air. Look at his right hand grabbing that tail. Solid rotation. Good clean landing. Nothing touching the ground. And I think he's pretty happy with it.
Man, that was a really nice last trick. Tell me about it.
It's pretty scary. Never do it. Only pull it out for comms.
Heading back to the top, Clayton Potts with a score of 22.2 in his first run, dropping in, looking to improve on that.
Clayton hoping to excite the Tawatna families that made the drive to Calgary here for this slopestyle event. A bit back seat, but cleaning that rail. That rail is supposed to execute into this next rail with speed. This rail, the jumps follow it, so we have to hit it with speed. Just like that. Let's see what he's got. Going for a huge right side, 720. Oh boy. This Tuatna skier goes down.
He's moving. Looks like he's okay. Just getting his composure together.
Clayton exited that rail exactly how you're supposed to. Good amount of speed. Looks like he was going a little faster than he thought, though. Tough run for Clayton.
We've got Samuel McEwen at the top here. In the first run, he had a 71.8, which is enough to have him on the podium. Let's see if he can improve on that or keep his place on the podium.
Really talented Sam coming into this first rail. Frontside surface swap, continuing 270 out. Oh boy, laying down a really technical trick on that top rail. Judges are going to like that. Coming into hover rail. Right foot forward. Backside 270 out. Coming in forward. Right side 720. A bit on the heels, hanging on. Sam still hanging on to this run.
Little scrub, but he kept his speed up.
Huge left side 900 to complete that run. Awesome run by Sam. You can see on the replay, grabbing his skis, huge amplitude, left cork 9. Great trick on that bottom there, combined with his technical rails. We'll see.
Great angle from the bottom there. Remember, the score to beat is 81.8. Will that run be enough? And with a score of 77, that should be enough to put him on the podium, but not enough to take the top spot. Next up, we have Colin Bridger, who's currently sitting in second with a 77.8. Let's take a closer look at Colin.
Well, I just like that it's more of a free sport and you can do like what you want to do, and I just like having the freedom of skiing with your friends and having a good time. I'm Colin Bridger and I'm 17 years old. I joined the Calgary Freeriders ski team, and from then I just started competing, and I just haven't stopped since. Well, I go to the National Sports School here at COP, so that definitely allows me to be able to come out and ski because it's right here at COP, and I just have to try to get all my homework done before I go skiing. So far, my best results have been first place at the Alberta Winter Games and first place at the Alberta Champs. And coming up, I qualified for the team for the Canada Winter Games, so I have that in February, so I'm super excited to go to that. Well, this season I'd like to make it to the World Ski Invitational in Whistler, and that's my main goal, and then just to continue progressing and hopefully end up in the top 10 in Alberta again. You have pretty much the choice of how far you want to push it, so you're just able to do whatever you're comfortable with and still have fun. Well, I'd hope to hopefully make it to the bigger competitions like X Games and the Do Tour and things like that. And I just want to keep skiing with my friends and having a good time and just progressing the sport and hopefully to make it to those bigger competitions.
Getting ready for his second run, we have Colin Bridger with a current score of 77.8, which keeps him in second place. Let's see if he can improve on this.
81.8, still that top score by Braden Tritter. We want Colin to get some clean runs in here. Maybe he can take that top spot. 270 off that rail, nicely done. He's gonna have to get some big amplitude on these lower tricks. Very clean, backside 450 off, coming in forwards to jump 1. Spinning to the right, grabbing tail, 720, landing super clean. Here comes jump number 2. And a left side bio cork, 720. Clean by Colin, ready to go, good run.
Will that be enough to take the top place?
Lip slide, and continuing on, 270 off that. A blind landing, into the hubba here. Solid lock onto that position, spinning 450 degrees off that rail, nicely down the landing. Jump one, spinning to the right. Watch the clean tail grab. Very well done. It looks effortless. Colin making this look easy. We'll see if he's got enough to take that 81.8 from his teammate. Currently in second. Will he take it top?
Oh, I'm pretty proud of that run. I'm happy with that. Happy the way it went. I landed everything the way I wanted to, so.
Right on. Congrats. Great skiing today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
81.4, not enough for first place. However, Colin putting down one of the best runs of the day, currently sitting in second.
Down to our last 3 skiers for the day. We have Cody Botham from Saskatchewan dropping in a score of 49.8, looking to improve on that.
Cody landing that first rail section clean, but the judges need to see spins on or off if he wants a chance at the podium. Cody, though, still out here from Saskatchewan, likely his first time on a big slopestyle course, looking good so far through the rail sections. Throwing a huge 360 down, landing a bit tail heavy, coming in hot to this bottom air, and throwing a huge 540, exploding, losing most of his equipment on the landing.
Let's have a look at that replay.
Spinning left, standing super upright, not sure if he knew where he was in the air there, but he certainly had one thing in mind, that was going big.
As that look, that pause, I'm in trouble. Put the landing gear down.
Flying through the air backwards, let me tell you, Mark, it's not a comfortable feeling. But good on Cody, great effort.
With a score of 20.6, he'll take his first run of 49.8 as his top score at this contest. Down to the last 2 skiers, Evan Marino from Winsport Academy at his home hill.
Evan is a super talented skier. He has a chance to take on these top competitors. Still very young skier, but he's doing really well on his home hill here. What I like about Evan, he's taken this other line over on the wall ride with a quick heel tap.
Nice to see him changing it up.
Evan, being a really light skier, didn't feel he had the speed for the top big jumps, so he's sticking to the smaller ones on skiers left. But a beautiful cork 7, landing solid. Great run by Evan. Checking Evan's wall ride trick out. You can see the gap onto that wall ride is extremely dangerous. About 10 feet on, and then you're about 10 feet up in the air. So Evan tapping it ever so lightly, but leading into his bottom 2 jumps, starting off with a right 360. Judges again want to see spinning both ways, leading beautiful into these cork 720 to the left. Evan, a nice clean run. He has potential to do much more difficult tricks, but I think his plan was to land it clean.
Hey Evan, tell me about that last run.
Big.
Yeah, right on.
Really big. Tailwind going huge on the jumps.
Yeah, good. Did it work out the way you wanted to?
Yeah, better. A little big, but a little backseat on the landings, but what can you do? Everybody has the same conditions, so.
Daniel Masser now at the top with his first run score of 61.4 from the Tuatna Valley Freeriders.
Daniel's the last competitor to go today and the last one to be able to break that high score of 81.8 by Braden Tritter.
Moving on to the rails, clean rail slide, right foot forward, exiting forwards and onto a good start. Him, like Evan, taking on this wall ride feature, which should impress the judges a little bit more than that hubba rail. Excellent air, lands it clean, moves over to the skier's right, large jump. Left side, 720, landed clean, into the second air. Taking a rodeo huge right down to the bottom of the landing. Might be another victim of that tailwind, but went deep, 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 Mark.
I like what Evan said earlier. It's all the same conditions for all the competitors. I love that positive attitude.
Looking at this top air, going left side, a little bit squirrely with those hands. You want to see a nice calm body through the air, and then this rodeo, terrific grab, but as you can see, he panicked as he saw he was traveling much too far down the landing, losing all of his equipment.
And that concludes our final skier, Daniel Macer, with a score of 24.4. Not enough to take the lead, putting Braden Tritter at the top spot of the Alberta Freestyle Skiing Slopestyle Contest.
This slopestyle course had a lot of crashes, a lot of wind variables, but overall a very nice day and a good day for athletes. Let's check out our leaderboard. Samuel McCowan narrowly beats out Evan Marino to take third place. Colin Bridger nails down one of the top scores of the day, but couldn't beat Braden Tritter with an 81.8, who takes first place.
For Patrick Bro, I'm Mark Ballard, and this concludes the Provincial Ski Slopestyle Contest at Winsport's Canada Olympic Park. Chasing Limits on Shaw TV, a glimpse into Alberta's winter action sports and a look into the athletes' personalities that continue to chase the limits.